Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? You see the title today. We got the For the Love of Money. As I'm sure a lot of y'all heard. But first of all, make a quick announcement for Passover. Go ahead, Aaron.
So we holding Passover. We're keeping it next Thursday. I believe that's the 25th, correct? So March 25th, beginning at 7:30. I believe the event starts at 7:45 actually, but please be early. Don't get there right when the event is starting. We want you to be a little bit earlier, so if you can get there around 7:30, it would be appreciated. But Passover for the Sons of Thunder Israelite camp will be held on March 25th. Please try to arrive to the venue around 7:30 so we can begin as quickly as possible.
If anyone is bringing food to the venue for Passover, make sure it's kosher, please. No leavened bread. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to do our best to observe this as close to perfect as possible, as we always try to do. And also bring your Bibles. Make sure you bring your Bibles. Bibles, apocrypha, pen, paper. You know what I'm saying? We're not just going to feast on that. We actually do have a Passover lesson. So come willing and ready to learn. And you'll need some of those same tools tonight. Bible, apocrypha, notepad, pen. But tonight's lesson, I'm gonna start this one off real quick. I'm sure a lot of y'all heard what the brother did about concerning his stimulus check or his baby mother's stimulus check. If y'all haven't heard, I'm gonna break it down for y'all real quick. This is the New York Times. I'm gonna read an article out of the New York Times. This article was written by Azi Febara on March the 16th. And it states, I'm gonna just hit some key points here. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure that you guys can actually see it as well. There you go. Can y'all see that, Aaron?
Con that one.
Con. So hold on 1 second. All right, cool. So an Indianapolis man was accused of fatally shooting 4 people over the weekend after arguing with his girlfriend because he wanted a portion of her federal coronavirus stimulus check. Instead of this man saying, what would you do for a Klondike bar? He really out here, what would you do for the stimmy? That's his thing. He want the money. It's 25-year-old Malik Halfaker was arrested on Sunday, a day after the shootings, and is expected to face murder, robbery, and attempted murder charges, according to the police and Indiana jail records. All right. So to cut some of this down, what this brother did was he went to his baby mother's house. Okay. And he demanded that she split her stimulus check with him. Right? Which, for all intents and purposes, I mean, you know, a lot of Jakes are going to do that. I mean, they have a kid together, so of course he's going to naturally want to try to get some of that money. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was supposed to do. Well, I ain't gonna say that's what he was supposed to do. That's what most Jakes are going to do anyway, regardless, whether they're part of the child's life or not. But this brother took it to a whole nother level with what he had to do and what he had to say about what was going on.
That's crazy. Salaki, that's crazy. So I'm privy to this situation. The brother wanted the cash so bad he killed the whole family, right?
God, I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it to you. So right here. Oh man, there it goes again. Let me see. All right. I'm gonna show you exactly what he did and who he targeted in this situation. If we get it decided to come up. There it is. Instead of this brother just taking a no for an answer, which is what his baby mama told him, basically, I'll give you probably about $400 and you should be okay with that. All right. What this brother did, and I'm gonna show y'all. This is the brother right here. This is the brother right here. This is him. Okay. This brother walked into his baby mother's house and demanded part of the stimulus money. Just straight up, I'm gonna take it. All right. While he was there, he was told no. He was refused several times. Just after 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, the police received a report that a person shot in a home on North Randolph Street. Right. At a second home, the police found 4 gunshot victims, whom they identified as Eve Moore, a 7-year-old, Daquan Moore, 23, Anthony Johnson, and Tamika Brown.
Wow, that's 4 people.
That's 4 people.
Wow.
That's 4 people.
That's sick, man. 4 people for the stimmy. Wow, there they go.
Here are the victims. Here are the victims. The woman in the if I'm not mistaken, the woman at the top, that would be Tamika Brown. That is actually his baby mother's mom, if I'm not mistaken. The guy on the to the right of her, that's the baby mother's brother. Oops. Sorry. That's the baby mother's brother. And of course, the beautiful young princess right here that unfortunately got mixed up in this incident is the mother's oldest daughter, but not the killer's, not his daughter. He had another daughter, a younger daughter with the woman, but this is from a previous relationship. She's from a previous relationship. Okay.
So he spared his child with her, but nobody else was spared.
Nobody else was spared.
So he knew what he was doing. It's not like he just went crazy. He was like, okay, I'm gonna spare my child because that's my kid, but I'm gonna kill everybody else. Wow.
Right. And of course, that's not nothing new to us. Runners, give me Deuteronomy 28 and 54. And also let me get Proverbs 15 and 27.
I'll get that Proverbs.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. And it reads, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother and towards the wife of his bosom.
And towards the wife of his bosom. And he see what he did to his rib. he had no intentions for her. Keep going, King.
So keep going.
Yeah.
And towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnants of his children, which he shall leave.
Now, in that situation, that last part really doesn't apply to him because actually he took his young daughter with him, but that other little girl got mixed up in that. And at one point, you can guarantee that was like his stepdaughter. He had a real relationship with this woman.
Oh, Salakia, everyone.
Salakia. Go ahead, King.
Because he still, it still come like the play that because if he get arrested, he's still going to be leaving his daughter.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way his daughter is not is not going to feel any of the effects of this. That's just not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen.
He knew all of them though. You got the mother of your child there. You got her other child there. You got a brother there. So you have a relationship with all of them in some form or fashion. It may not be the best relationship, but they all know each other. They've all probably been around each other for some years. So it just go to show you how how those spirits operate, man. Like I always say, the curses is worse than any drug ever created, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And how uninformed our people is. How crazy people going over this damn stimulus check, man. If y'all got to start informing yourself and understand this stimulus check ain't about nothing, because guess what? That's nothing but the government fronting you your money.
And they're gonna want it back.
They get it back in taxes. So if you got your stimmy now, when you file taxes in this time, however much you got, it's going to be affected in your taxes. So they're really just fronting you your money. It's not like you're getting free money. I'm seeing all these jakes run around like, I got 14, it's your money. They front it to you early. When you go to file taxes,
you gotta pay that back.
How much of the stimulus you got? I'm gonna ask you that. That's a question.
Like, hey.
How much did you get the first one? Did you get the second one? They're gonna ask all that and add that up. And that's gonna affect your taxes because the government is just fronting you your money. So if you got it already, don't think you're not finna be balling and living life. That's why we gotta be informed. So brother sat there and killed the whole family over some money that he probably gonna get anyway. He would have got anyway in some form or fashion. It's crazy. I yield the floor.
I think it's in another article in the New York Post. The New York Post says that when he asked, his baby mama said you can get $415, and that is it. Take it or leave it. And you know how he probably said it with that girl too. He was hot. He wanted to have that at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? His response to that was, "I'm gonna get this money." That was the day before he shot everybody. That was the day before, the previous day. Okay?
Salakia, I don't. Why even feel like you entitled to that money that is being given to her? Like, what did you do to get the money? Like, we know that they giving X amount of money for what, however many kids you got. No, we get that, but what makes anybody feel like you should split that with me? I'm just trying to get the understanding behind it. Okay, we got a kid together. I need half because they gave you because if you're not actively involved in your child's life, then you shouldn't be asking for a dime. That's just point blank and period. So I'm thinking if he's active in his child's life and he's really providing, she probably wouldn't have had an issue with it. She probably was doing him a solid by even saying, "I'll give you this amount." You know how, because a lot of Eves are still look out for their child's father, those who ain't overly wicked and trying to put them on child support and all that. They might look out, okay, I got a little extra money, I'll throw you a bone. But I'm thinking if he's probably active in his child's life, she probably would have gave him a little bit more. But I don't know why you would even feel like you obligated to get something. Like, if you taking care of your own business, you ain't like certain people. When you getting money, you're not worried about no stimulus check. Bill Gates ain't looking for that $1,400.
Right.
Oprah, certain people. I know I'm naming super rich people, but even people who got regular jobs. If you got a decent job, you not really have $1,400. That's not really a lot of money
at all.
That's rent. That's mortgage. People talking about you see they talking about Red Lobster. People talking about I'm gonna order the whale at Red Lobster, like super. I'm like, y'all must have never had no money in life because that's not a lot of money. And Jake killing over it. I yield the floor, man. It's ridiculous.
Gone. I want y'all to hear exactly what he did, exactly how he went about this. All right. So what he did was he confronted them on one day, and then he turns around and he comes back the next day. Right. And I guess he probably played cool because it says Halkir later returned to the home and started going through Moore's purse. So he was able to come back in there and actually get in the house and get into her purse, which means he's probably over there. He may have played the let me see my child role or whatever he did. Once he started going through the purse, though, that's when her brother jumps up and starts to defend her and protect her purse. And he was the first victim. He was the one that took the first shots I think if I'm not mistaken, it's to the stomach. He took the first shot. That'd be brother
Trying
up
to get
here
that,
in the right hand.
trying to get that trip out of him.
The report says he shot the Quan first when he said he shot Anthony. He turned around and he shot my auntie Tamika. So that was her aunt. That wasn't her mother. That was her aunt. He shot my auntie Tamika. My aunt Tamika said Malik, and he shot her again.
If I'm mistaken, I think that that's her cousin. My wife was telling me about the same story, so I think that's her cousin, and that's her mother.
Which one?
So you have it right that the lady is her mother, but that guy is her cousin. It's not it's not her brother. So when he said my auntie, he was right because that's his cousin. That girl is his cousin.
No, there were two guys in the situation.
Oh, okay.
There were two. I'm getting to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to it. Like I said, there's two. One's the cousin and one's the brother. Okay.
Got you.
The brother was the first one to stand up and do something, and then he turned the gun on everybody else. When he did that, the mother took off running. He shot her in the back, but she still managed to get away. She is the only one that survived. All those two brothers in there, gone. The auntie, gone. The 7-year-old, after that, the brother proceeded to leave the house with the 6-month-old daughter. And they later found him hiding in the attic. But he dropped his daughter over at a relative's house, though. He didn't keep his daughter with him. He was smart enough not to do that. Right? These brothers, if people got this, if we're gonna get it by any means necessary attitude, and they're gonna take it from however, including you.
Right.
But give me that 1 Timothy 6:9.
Con. Is that 1 Timothy 6:9?
1 Timothy 6:9.
Con, it's the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation.
The brother wanted to have something in his pocket so bad he was willing to do whatever. He literally walking straight into temptation. Keep going.
Con. And a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lust, which drown man in destruction and perdition.
Man, this brother ain't gone. He all the way gone. He drowned. He all the way in it. Ain't no getting out of this. His life is over. By all our standards, his life is pretty much done.
Okay.
Ain't no walking back out of this one, brother. Keep going.
Verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
The what?
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
No, man. You know what I'm saying? Just money itself is evil.
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
So you telling me it's not the money itself, it's me wanting it. That's what that verse is saying. It's not the actual money. People get that mixed up. They say money is the root of all evil. No. It's what you do with your money. Because you can help a lot of people if you got a lot of money. You can help a lot. You can do a lot of things. If you got a decent amount of change in your pocket, you can affect a whole lot of people.
Okay.
But if all you want is to get more money, you ain't finna do nothing but damage everybody that's around you. Finish that verse out, Ken.
While which some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So basically like the other one was saying, like what the scripture say, for the love of money If you putting money above any and everything, you gonna be willing to do any and everything, just like the brother did right then and there. He didn't just like the money. He don't have a like. He got a love for it. So he putting that above his family. Like he put that above really that's his child's mother. He put the love of the finances above that. Like, I'm willing to do anything. I will get rid of this. I would get rid of my whole family, because when you really look at it, that's his family too, no matter how you want to try to cut it. You know what I'm saying? So he executed all of them just for a few bucks. And like I said, a few minutes ago, that's the stimulus is not even a lot of money. It's not a lot of money at all. So he was willing to get rid of everybody for a few bucks. Go ahead, Ken.
Shalom, everybody. Y'all got you absolutely right, but when you look at it at the root of it, it's that spirit of envy and covetousness.
That's right.
Because what the scriptures say, lust is covetousness. They're linked together when you read Matthew 5 and 27 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the same lust or covetousness that he had to want to be in a better predicament, but he still wanted to live his kind of life, how he was going to do it, caused him to make the decisions that he actually made, which ended up being to his detriment. But to add on Benaya's point, having money isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's the love of money that makes everything all evil. I have a quick precept. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 19, if I may bring it out.
Go ahead, King.
It says, a feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. So what's the old saying? Money makes the world go around. But the love of money is the root of all evil, because that love of money is going to cause you to act out and do certain things that are extremely detrimental to your environment, not conducive to your growth. I yield.
All right. Man, I don't know. I get a little flustered every time I look at this article, because, you know what I'm saying, I think about being in some down situations, trying to raise my kids, and this never crossed my mind to do this. Like, this not at no point would ever cross my mind to do that, man. I can't even think of what would make a man even, like, how is this even possible for you as a man? Like, you supposed to go out there and get it, but not in this way. You know what I'm saying? And then you're supposed to be getting it to provide for your family. You're not supposed to be taking from your family. Now that's the last thing you need to be doing, man. That's the last thing you need to be doing. But it ain't uncommon for Israel to do it. It ain't uncommon at all. But Israel's always stuck in. We always in some vein. We always doing something that's just out of, like, it's completely out of our character when it gets down to it, because there's no need for us to even do it. Give me Psalm 62 and 10. Like, you just don't wake up in the morning and just decide, well, yeah, I'm about to go get this money. I'm about to go. He get up and call his partner, like, yeah, I'm gonna rob my baby mama. God, I'll call you back. He ain't do that. It ain't everyday stuff for you to do this. You can't. How do you even think about that? Like, like I said, I get flustered with this. Every time I look at this article, I get flustered with this article. It makes me upset, because this is the reason why we have so many black women saying, you know what I'm saying, we don't protect our family, we don't protect our kids, we don't do nothing for them, because we get stories like this. Right. You got the black man $200. He's sometimes worse than Uncle Sam, because he just want Uncle Sam giving, and he'll take you out to get that. Give me that. Okay.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 62, verse 10. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them.
Go back to the top of that one time.
Khan. This is verse 10. Trust not in oppression,
Trust nothing, no pressure, man. Don't get comfortable here. Don't get comfortable in it. Don't think it's how it's supposed to be. Keep going.
Come and become not vain in robbery.
Now don't get it twisted though either. Don't think that it's a good thing that you can keep getting these quick come ups. Don't think that you can make a lifestyle out of this and it's gonna keep happening, man. Don't think that you can just walk in and just do whatever. And definitely don't think that Esau gonna get away with robbing us for the rest of the time being either. There's always a payback for this, man.
That's right.
There's always something else to come. It ain't gonna never just, oh well, they got away with it. No, it's always gonna be something else to come. We're waiting on Esau. We're waiting on. I stop saying that. we waiting on the melanin deficient to get they come up. They get they up and coming. I mean, that's what we're waiting on. It ain't gonna happen no time soon if we don't stop doing stuff like this. It ain't gonna happen no time soon if we don't stop killing our own. Like the curses this is one of the heaviest curses in Deuteronomy, man. It's one of the ones we struggle the most in getting over. That's like that stump. You know what I'm saying? Or that's that speed hump that nobody slows down for. Everybody just smashes up the bottom of their car on it. They don't even try to slow down. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's my brother, so I can step on him. It's cool. But that's nothing. Oh, that's my sister. Oh, she black like me. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do what we gotta do to come up. Maybe I'll give her a couple dollars after I finish stepping on them. Like, that's the way we look at things. As especially as black men, that's what we do. That's what we do. I get mine, you get yours after I get mine, and then you know what I'm saying. If you still ain't got enough, oh well, you should do what I did.
Right.
And we learned that mentality from Uncle Sam. We learned that mentality from being here. Who said percent?
I did.
Yeah.
Con, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse 19 through 20. 21. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." So the brother was thinking of that quick come up, but had his mind been on the kingdom of heaven, he wouldn't have been thinking like that in the first place, because he would have already been thinking of, well, dang, I understand that I'm probably the most intricate part of this family because I'm the man, so I'm supposed to be the head. So I need to do what I can to take care of my family and raise my family how I'm supposed to, and lay that spiritual and physical foundation so that my kids are also strong, so that they know how to continue this cycle. Instead, he thinking, shoot, I ain't gotta do nothing. If she gonna give me whatever, and if she don't, I'm gonna do what I just did. And we see where that's finally got him. Like I hate to see that, but he wasn't doing his part in the household anyways, according to the article and what was actually shown. He wasn't taking care of his household anyway, so he was worse than an infidel. According to the scriptures, he was worse than somebody that don't even believe in the Most High. That's right. We read 1 Timothy 5 and 8.
Okay, so that's what I was saying. Like, for you to not be taking care of your business and to feel obligated to receive some kind of finances from your child's mother is ridiculous. And then you go as far as murdering the whole family just because you got something that you didn't deserve anyway. Now, why were you in a situation where you weren't getting no stimulus check money? You see what I'm saying?
He ain't filing no taxes.
That's my whole point. So now you want what somebody else got. You ain't putting in no time and effort. And since they said no, or actually they still offered you something, and something is better than nothing, but Jake's so damn wicked, you just can't have a little bit that you was offered. You got to have it all that you wanted or nothing. So now you still not getting the damn stimulus money because you finna go to prison. So either way, you lost. You didn't win anything. Your child's not gonna have a parent, both parents out of their life now, out of the young child's life, because you in prison, the mother's dead, and guess what? The idiot still didn't get no damn money. You did all that just to go to prison. Jake don't be thinking sometimes, man. I know he probably sitting in jail right now, like, damn, what was I thinking, man? I did all that to get them a few $100, a couple $1,000, and now I'm sitting here with this dude breathing on the back of my neck. That's how.
Check this out. So Lorenzo Moore, the brother of the victim, all right, the brother of the victim said that Halfaker was known to carry a gun, didn't have a job, and frightened his sister.
I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't even go for all that. My sister feel frightened in any kind of way instead of protected. Never mind, I'm not gonna incriminate myself. That's crazy.
You try to debo her.
Now check out. No, let me finish what I read. He said it was like you could feel this fear, but you never want to do anything about it because you're too scared, and it might come to what it comes to. He said just him being angry about not having any money and not doing anything for himself, so he thought he could just take something from her. That's exactly what we said, though. That's exactly what we said. You get an unemployed brother. He ain't got nothing. He ain't looking for nothing. He ain't trying to do nothing. And he sees some free money. He need to take it. But then that also goes back to Cyrac 6 improving the friend. A lot of sisters, a lot of Eves, y'all not doing that. Y'all not taking y'all time to vet these people that y'all laying with, man.
That's right.
Y'all got more to lose than we do, in my opinion. Y'all got more at stake because y'all the ones get left with the kid. So y'all say, y'all the ones get left with the kids. Y'all the ones get left with the hurt feelings because the brother knew what he wanted when he met you. He knew exactly what he was doing when he met you. He didn't care. Now, this brother is a little bit different. See, this brother decided he at least cared about his daughter because he let her live. Then he took her to a family member when he took her. But everybody else, you can get it. And a brother with that mentality, he don't just wake up, like I said, he don't just wake up and have that mentality on Monday. Nah, he didn't have that mentality for months. He's been like that for a while. That's probably why he ain't been working, because he been robbing. Well, he been selling. Well, he been doing whatever he been doing whatever he got to do to get it. So without having to do it legally, and that's probably and that's a sign that he probably had his own situations going on behind closed doors. Shaquat, I'm surprised they let him walk out of the house too. I'm surprised he walked out of there. You know, most times they put four of them in four holes in him in the house before we even get to see him on camera. He gone. He don't even get to tell his side. Well, at least this time we might actually get to see his side. Somebody give me Mark 4:19 real quick.
It's the book of Mark, chapter 4 and verse 19. And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
Yeah, the cares of this world. The cares of this world, you know what I'm saying? That'll taint you. It'll taint your spirit. You know what I'm saying? It makes everything you do become unprofitable. Like this brother probably started off with something small, probably, you know what I'm saying, jacking stuff out of the convenience store here and there. And then it just grew. Everything that he touched probably became negative. Probably had no effect for him. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he did probably just didn't work out. Got to the point where he just got used to being at the bottom. He's unfruitful. You know, the one part about this that I struggle to talk about is the killing of the little girl. That part is, I don't even know how you begin to, how you can point your gun at that face. How you do that, man? How? I don't get that. Now you, it's so many things that me personally that I would hope happens to you after this. But I can't get into that. I'm gonna just say like you're all the way messed up individual, bro. For this, all the way messed up. Like there's no saving this, man. That's can't even do it. Luke 21 and 16.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 16. It says, "And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death."
You shall be betrayed by both parents, man. Both parents. What you imagine? What the last thing that little girl thought? Somebody that she probably had been and spending time around and looking to as a parental figure has a gun pointed to her face, and there's nothing she can do. She can't run. She can't go nowhere. What's she gonna do?
It's a lot. It's just weird that you feel more comfortable killing some people you know than a stranger sometimes. Like that's how sick life is. That's how sick the curses is sometimes when you hating your brother. Like you're more comfortable and committed to killing somebody who looks like you or somebody you close to that you know than a stranger. And that kind of translates into our everyday life because we go hard against Jake. We go hard against Eve. But against Esau, against Moab, against Elam, we be silent. Like he wanted money so bad, why he ain't go look for Elam, who's gonna get a stimulus check and say, "Well, I'm gonna just take him out. He helped oppress us." Or why he ain't go look for Edomite and do that? Nah, I'm gonna just do that to the mother of my child. That made sense to him, and I'll just kill the rest of the family
Hey,
since
it's
they
a
was
lot.
here. Like that's go ahead, Ken.
Nah, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you
There
off.
you go, bro. Go ahead.
That makes perfect sense to him. Hey, believe it or not, that's not just him. That make perfect sense to a lot of our people, though.
Come
Like you said, that's how you know it's something spiritual. It's not like niggas just got together, huddled up in a meeting, and said, "All right, we just finna start killing each other and robbing each other." It just started happening. Like brothers just literally started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't even, I'm positive, he was just thinking about, I'm gonna get that money one way or another. He wasn't thinking about the ramifications or repercussions of what was gonna happen after he did all of that. Like he didn't sit there and think that all the way through. There is no way you could have sat there and thought that all the way through. And said, all right, I'm finna kill everybody in this house if she don't give me this money. And then after that, whatever come after that, it just comes.
right.
Like, what sense does that make?
None at all, Ken.
To
It's
that
courage.
thing,
Go ahead, Ken.
That gun that he had, that was his courage. He ain't thought that stuff through at all, just like you said. You know what I mean? His mind was, I'm just going for that one thing. That's my goal. And that's when we face stuff and we have like those panic reactions. You know what I mean? That brother walk upon him, you know what I mean? First thing he do is shot him. Like, look, you're not gonna stand in my way. You know what I mean? He not thinking clearly, I think he do that. You know what I mean? His mind is focused on one thing, and I came here to get. I'm hurting whoever I got to hurt. But you consider you have enough common sense, so you know being stupid. Enough common sense to see like I'm not gonna kill my daughter. I'm gonna take her out the house, and I'm gonna leave her by some family. I mean, family members who I know she's taking care of.
oh,
So you have some kind of common sense, man. My dad's always saying those bums I see, those you see on the street, they're just pretty crazy. They're not really crazy because they move out the way of the car, right? They walk down, get knocked down, and they move out the way of a car. So they have enough common sense. You know what I mean? They ain't crazy. They're just going through stuff, and they might have, drive them a little, they couldn't handle it.
Con. That's why, hey, again, them curses, man. Them curses. The curses. Undefeated.
It's spiritual, man.
Yeah, the curses are undefeated, man. And we still being plagued to this day, man, by them curses. That's why you gotta do what's right, man. We gotta keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why brothers is hitting the streets. That's why brothers is on videos all day, every day, trying to put their bricks in, man. Because when you see situations like this, it should make you upset. You should be tired of seeing situations like that. I don't know about nobody else, but I'm tired of seeing my people being slaughtered by others and ourselves. I'm tired of Israel hurting Israel. We got enough going on. I don't need my brother to be plotting against me the whole time. When I got Esau breathing on my neck, he trying to choke the life out of me every day.
Mm-hmm.
We leave battling all the nations all day just to make it to our neighborhood and battle Jake. You can't even go to the damn store without risking your life. And Jake gonna apply more pressure than the damn other nations. Because like we see here, Jake wants you gone just as bad as Esau. But Jake can't figure out why. He can't figure out why he wants you gone. He just know he wants you gone. You in the way. With this situation, I need the money. So I'm gonna kill everybody because I need the money. And like the brother Barnabas said, that's not even a well thought out plan. But you were smart enough to remove your child. Like, okay, I killed everybody. Let me get my child over here in a safe place. So you playing crazy. And that is a saying I heard before. We say that back home, man. You playing crazy. Man. Don't play crazy like that. You playing crazy. Because you let that, like the Adam brought out earlier, you let that love of the finances of that money corrupt your spirit, man. You can't put money above everything. Money will solve almost every issue. But if you loving it, man, that means if you love money like that, that means you don't love the Most High. You don't rely on them. You don't care about the law, statutes, commandments. You don't care about your mother, your brother, nobody. Though, and you can tell by the actions of individuals. And this brother just proved it. Because if he didn't love money the way he did, he wouldn't do what he did, man. So I hope everybody take this situation and just reflect on it. Because you might be near and dear somebody who's willing to do the same thing. That's why we got to use discernment. That's why we got to use wisdom. And like we teach in our camp, man, you got to prove a friend. Brother brought it out not too long ago. You got to start proving people. Everybody that smile on your face ain't your friend. I don't care how many shalawams or shaloms, you know what I'm saying, all praises, most high in Christ. I don't care how many of those you giving, brothers and sisters. You still got to be proved because we don't know each other like that. In this situation, they felt like that's her child's father. So she feel like, I know this brother. He ain't finna do this. And what did he do? Slaughtered everybody, man. So I yield the floor with that, man.
Yeah. I mean, but it ain't the first time, man. Ain't the first time Israel acted like and then acted up and acted stupid. We are known for being jealous toward our own people, especially when it comes to some type of clout, notoriety, money, or you know what I'm saying, just some type of favoritism. Barnes, go to let's get that in Cain and Abel we was talking about earlier. Genesis 3. Because we know what we know what happened with Cain and Abel. We know what Cain did to Abel. And we know that spirit's still walking around, and sometimes we can be affected by it. That's how we end up doing some of the things that we do.
Genesis 4.
Go ahead and get it if you got it.
All right.
Genesis 4, yeah. My bad, I said 3.
You want me to start at 1? Let's start at 1, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the book of
No.
Genesis.
Start at 5.
Con. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offspring he had no respect. Salakia. But unto Cain and to his offspring he had not respect.
All
And
right, so
Cain,
we see this is after Cain and Abel have presented their sacrifices, and you know Abel kind of got looked on like, yeah, that was nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling that. And Cain kind of got looked at as that's all you got. Like, you know what I'm saying? You really ain't even trying. Keep reading.
Con. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Man, you can see it on his face. He was steaming. He 38 hot. He mad. Like, well, they say today, he mad. He big mad. Jump down to go to 8. Jump to 8.
Con. Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
You want?
Con. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
What I say. Now, every time you do something, you might think you're gonna get away with it, but what happened? As soon as he do it, they come to Messiah. Yo, what happened to Abel, man? What's going on? What's happening, bro? You can't run from it. You can't lie about it. You know what I'm saying? He even goes further to say, yo, the blood cries out. You know how much blood is on this brother's hands for killing these 4 people?
Con.
You think the Most High looked at that and was like, yo, yeah, we can forget it. No, bro, you got some serious things you got to get worked out, man. His punishment is going to be terrible. I don't even want to think about what's going to happen now. But this is one example of what Israel did. We also had, you know what I'm saying, we know what Judas did. Judas betrayed Christ for 30 pieces of silver. 30 pieces of silver, man. Get that account to me real quick.
Con. This is the book of Mark 20, Matthew 26. And 14. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 14. Then one of the 12, called Judas Issachar, went unto the chief priests. Keep going. And said unto them, what will ye give me? And I will deliver him unto you.
So he literally asking, yo, what you gonna pay me? What you gonna do for me? This ain't no, I ain't delivering them for free. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta give me something. Serious.
Huh. And they come. What did I will deliver unto you? And they covenanted, they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time, he sought opportunity to betray him.
So for 30 pieces of silver, he spent the rest of that time after that trying to find that one opportunity he could get him jammed up. For 30 pieces of silver, he was willing to execute Yahushua. Basically, walk Yahushua to his death just for 30 pieces of silver. And you look that up, that ain't much. That ain't much at all. It ain't even equivalent to your stimulus check. It ain't even equivalent to your stimulus check. Well, Judas was willing, he was really ready to go. What'd you say?
Salaki, I don't mind. I don't care how much it was. They can't pay me enough to turn into Mashiach. Like, hey, that's a different type of blood to have in your hand. It's wrong. Hey, any blood in your hand is deep. But imagine having the blood of the Mashiach on your hands. Like, you're personally responsible for leading up to Yahweh being buffeted, beat down, battered, and then his life was taken from him. You know, they put him on it. You know, he got crucified.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you being like you being the one that okay, I dimed him out. That's a different kind of. I would never want to be in that situation. That's crazy.
Salaki,
Go ahead, gang.
you were slick, like you slick touching on this last night.
Yeah.
But what if that was part of his punishment? Like every regeneration that he came back as a rat. He committed suicide.
We was just talking about that.
Like that's what if that's part of like his punishment? Aside from the punishment that he gonna get when Yahweh actually come back, crack that sky. If Judas is so happy, whether Judas is in the grave at the time or whether he walking around in this present generation. What if he got to look at Yahweh in his face and say, dang, he just start remembering everything he did from his past life?
Bruh. Something to think about, man.
Salakia.
Go ahead, gang.
So you have back then. They probably had a saying like how we have it, like don't be that Takashi spirit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then they probably was like don't have that Judas spirit. You know what I mean? You know, probably became a saying.
Yeah. You know Jake had that as a saying. Yeah, that's right, Barnes.
Salaki, I had a quick precept too. I was touching on that. It's 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 17. It says, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God who give us richly all things to enjoy. And that's exactly what these brothers did. They trusted in uncertain riches. Judas trusted in uncertain riches, and that might have just costed him his whole spot in the kingdom of heaven. We can't for sure say what his spot is going to be, because what he did was still, even though it was wicked, even though he sold Hamashiach Yahweh for 30 pieces of silver, we still don't know what his place might be in the kingdom of heaven, because he still was acting according to the Most High's will, because that had to be done. Now, this brother, on the other hand, who killed his rib, we might as well say his ribs family, his in-laws, about a stimmy, he threw a light-skinned tantrum and went ballistic about a stimmy.
He wasn't getting stimulated. So he was
right. Did all of that and killed. Not on his, he gonna have to explain that to his daughter someday. Like, yeah, I killed your grandma, your uncles, your cousin, your older sister, all behind some money from the government, all behind a gift from the government. Like, really?
Hey, Shaquat, look it.
A gift destroyed the heart, for real. Because that's all the symbols is.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That
ain't my light skin, but
that brother funny, man.
Not the same.
I was trying to hold that in, no folly, but
yeah, I was gonna bring that out anyway. Israel. Give me Matthew 27 and 5. Let's see what happened to Judas. What was the final end of Judas?
That's a good precept, King, too. The waterfall precept, Shalom, King, as well.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 27 and verse 5. It says, and he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself.
What did he do?
Hanged himself.
That guilt got to him, man. That guilt walked him right up on right up to the rope. Hey, go ahead and with this. You know what he was probably thinking? You know what they're gonna do to you when they catch you, right? you had 11 brothers that they still waiting to get a hold of you, right? You know what's gonna happen when they walk in the building. You know what I'm saying? You know it ain't gonna be nothing nice. You might go ahead and walk it on and end it right here. He had all type of demons on him at that point for the 30 people.
Right. That
And it was
conscience is gonna be him alive.
I just wanted to bring that up. I just want Israel to actually to see, to get a look at what's that, some of the stuff that one of the instances that's happening over the stimulus check. There's other ones too, but this just the one that's prevalent to me. Like that's the one that was most visible to me. Yeah, thank you, Barney. That's just the one that was most visible to me. It doesn't make any sense that Israel can't seem to wrap their head around the fact that if we stop putting all our trust in this money system that they have and start putting our trust in each other and working with each other and helping each other, money won't be a factor. We gotta start depending on each other and relying on each other again, man. So I know the brothers decided that they wanted to. We got a little bit of something extra on Patreon that most people aren't privileged to. So the brothers decided they wanted to give y'all a little sneak peek of that before we shut it down tonight. So I'm gonna turn it over to Iron.
The water out of one. So first off, subscribe to our Patreon page and Sons of Thunder Israelites. We have a series on there called Knowledge is Power, where brothers actually bring out resources, different books, websites, things along that nature to help edify the nation. So we want our brothers and sisters to know where we're getting these resources from, because we are really commanded to be scholars. We are the scholars of the earth, right? So in our camp, we really take being a scholar serious. Like, this is a Bible school, so like the scripts say, study to show thyself approved. We're not only showing ourselves to be approved in the scriptures alone, we have to become scholars in other areas. So brothers got to take time to become historians and get good at geography and all that kind of stuff. So you just can't just be the man in the scripts. You got to be well-rounded, shall I say. So that's part of being a scholar. So we have a series on our Patreon called Knowledge is Power series. I think the next video will be featuring Soldier Yahweh, the strong soldier right there. He has a video that should be on our Patreon page sometime this week or early next week. And we, like I said, we go through the book. So what we want to do tonight is kind of give y'all an example or a preview of what we do. We have a few books that we want to kind of go through, so y'all can, one, see what's in there, see if you want to actually go in there, dig in deep into these books yourselves, and two, we can tell them where we got them from. So we want to make sure our people are prepared for anything, because when we out there, you might not be out there with somebody that's strong in the scripts. You might be out there with somebody who's strong in history, or you might not be strong in history and that brother's strong in the scripts. Like, it's all about kingdom building. We all put in our bricks. So make sure you bring something to the table. But scholarship, being a scholar, is one of the things that we can't overlook. So I'm ready to begin when you are, Adam. He on mute, King.
Which book you want to start with?
All right, so we're gonna start out. The first book I want to start out with is it's called the Complete Ancient Hebrew Workbook. Right. I'm not gonna go all the way through it. I'm gonna let Adam bring up the photo of it. But this is one of them books I call a must have. You gotta buy this. Now, I was able to purchase this from Amazon. It was about $40 on Amazon, but it's worth it, because if you know your nationality, you know the truth. This is a great workbook where it's actually teaching you how to speak our language. Thank you for water, Edwin. How to speak our language, right? So they got different exercises and different, as you can see, ways to educate us, where you can match phrases. They have all our prayers. You go to the feast days, you hear brothers praying. A lot of those prayers, brothers learn out of this book right here. The Lord's Prayer. They got the 10 Commandments. regular everyday Hebrew phrases, besides shalom and all that. It's going to teach you the basics. So you all can see that it's we got names in here. Brothers and sisters be looking for names. They want to have Hebrew names. This book has that. Crossword puzzles to help you to learn Hebrew. This is a really great asset for anybody in the truth. If you're really trying to learn your true language and stop speaking the oppressor's language, this is a great tool. So that again is the complete ancient Hebrew workbook. Some elders in the truth sell this, so you might be able to network with some brothers on Facebook, Instagram. We have it, but if not, you can get it off Amazon. I don't know if they have it at like Books a Million or Barnes and Noble, anything like that, but I know they have it on Amazon. The next book I want to bring out, I'm gonna read a little bit out of it. It's called Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler, right? I know y'all thinking like Adolf Hitler, that brother was a Nazi, right? But it looked like this. I know you probably got the image of Mein Kampf from Adolf Hitler. And I'm gonna go into it a little bit. I'm gonna read a little bit out of here. Because he was saying some stuff in here that was deep. So this is I'm gonna wait for Adam to put up the picture for people to see what I got. Now, this book has different covers. This is the exact cover that I have of the book, but it has different covers. Some covers have a picture of Hitler on front or whatever. But I'm gonna read a little bit for you. I'm gonna jump around, but this is on page 302 of the book. It says, hence, the Jewish people, despite all apparent intellectual quality, is without any true culture, and especially without any culture of its own. For what sham culture the Jew today possesses is the property of other peoples. And for the most part, it is ruined in his hand, right? So I'm gonna turn the page. Y'all can hear what this is Hitler talking, right? Page 305, he goes on to say, thus the Jew of all times has lived in the states of other peoples, and there formed his own state, which to be sure habitually sailed under the disguise of a religious community. So he's saying they disguise themselves wherever they are as a religious community, as long as outward circumstances made a complete revelation of his nature seem inadvisable. And I'm going to drop down a little bit. It says, his life within other peoples can only endure for any length of time if he succeeds in arousing the opinion that he is not a people, but a religious community, though of a special sort. And this is the first great lie. In order to carry on his existence as a parasite on other people's, he is forced to deny his inner nature. The more intelligent the individual Jew is, the more he will succeed in this deception. So he's talking about what we know as the Ashkenazi, the Khazarian Jew. It's more in there, but like I said, that's called Mein Kampf, but that's by Adolf Hitler. Let me go into grab another one real quick for y'all. Actually, I'm gonna go into this book right here. It's called The Middle East, the Cradle of Civilization Revealed. It's by Dr. Stephen Bort. And this book, it has everything from the so-called Middle East, right? So the reason why I bought this book is because when you read in the Bible, this actually helps you interpret a lot of things in the scripture even better. You start reading about certain individuals in the Bible, you're like, I don't know who that is. I don't have that much information about them. Well, this book is going to give you that information, right? So let me go into some certain things. They talk about the Akkadians. Let me go. I want to go straight to this part, so I get real quick while I turn these pages. So this is one on page 154. Let's see if y'all can see. It says the history of the Bible. Y'all probably can't see it, but it says history in the Bible, and it actually goes into depth and it talks about the Exodus. I'm gonna read this part really quick. It says the Exodus. Although the Exodus is not mentioned in any contemporary Egyptian sources, the biblical writers of Exodus have placed the events in a plausible Egyptian context. During the Egyptian Middle Kingdom period and the Second Intermediate period from 2000 to 550 BCE, there is extensive evidence. So they said there is extensive evidence for Asiatics, those who lived in the Palestine area, as prisoners of war, merchants, or individuals sent to Egypt as diplomatic gifts. There is also archaeological evidence for Semitic settlement in the northeast Delta area, contemporary with the rule of Hyksos. Right, that's talking about the Asiatic dynasty. Now it goes on and on. It has, like I had, it's more in this book. You can go. You learn about the Phoenicians, the Neo-Hittites. You got they talk about Judah and Assyria and Egypt. I'll read this little part for y'all. It says Assyria proved a divisive force, and Israel imploded in the late 750s BCE. Menem paid tribute to Assyria to gain its help to assassinate Shalom, the ruling Israelite king, and to take the throne. Another usurper, Pekah, then turned to Damascus to support the assassination of Menem's son in 736 BCE. Israel and Damascus now stood arrayed against Judah and his king Ahaz, eventually appealed to Assyria to help reinstate the balance of power. So it goes on. And not only that, it has all the images, it has ancient artifacts, it's going through everything. Mediterranean, Tigris, Euphrates, all these ancient so-called civilizations is going through there. It's going to talk about Hammurabi, his law, all those kind of things. So this is a really good book. I'm holding it up again. I know Adam One had it on the screen. It's called The Middle East, The Cradle of Civilization. It's a big, strong book. And I'll yield the floor because I think Soldier Yawar has a couple things he'd like to show also. Khan Shaquat said he got the name. He got his name from that book. Khan. Go ahead, Ken.
So long. All right. So first thing I'm gonna bring out is, of course, y'all done seen the Bible Compact Dictionary, because a lot of times you see brothers use this to prove that Ham is not just he's not the progenitor of the Negroes, but the other dark races, the Ethiopians, Libyans, Egyptians, and Canaanites. But here we're gonna look through some more parts of this Bible dictionary and show what other pieces of information are very valuable and what else you can use this for. So another thing that we're gonna look at is Enoch, or the books of Enoch. It says apocalyptic literature written by various authors and circulated under the name Enoch. First Enoch was written by the Chassidim, or by the Pharisees, between 163 and 63 BC. This is long after the original Enoch, who was the seventh from Adam. Long after. And this is the first part of the book of Enoch that I ain't gonna even say that we have today, but that first part of, or the first Enoch that we know to be written. It says, it is the best source for the development of Jewish doctrine in the last two pre-Christian centuries. And the second Enoch was written from AD 1 to 50. All right. So when you look at what was happening between 163 BC and 63 BC, that was the Greek Empire. So a lot of the stuff that we see where you have the theme of fallen angels coming down, mating with humans or men, women, or whatever, and they're having these quote unquote demigods or whatever. A lot of that came from the Greek Empire, because that was a theme that was already being pushed upon our people at the time as a religious thing. All right. So another thing that I'm gonna pull up is occupations and professions, because we really don't understand how advanced the civilization was back then. So you had barbers, of course, you had the beggar, You had butlers, you had carpenters, you had chamberlains, clerks, confectioners, which is a female perfumer or apothecary. You had a coppersmith. You had counselors, doctors of the law, diviners, dyers, or farmers. You had a herdsman. You had hunters. You had judges. You even had lawyers, magicians, which, well, of course, were the other nations. You had masons, musicians. You had nurses, physicians, plowmen, and porters, which were like gatekeepers, if you will. All right, so that's just another one of the quick things that we're gonna look through now. Another thing I found that even those of us that actually read the Bible know who Samaria is, but let's see what the Bible dictionary gives for the definition of Samaria. All right. It says Samaria.
Give him the page number, King.
517. The other one was like 407 through 413. Salaki. So Samaria is another name for the northern kingdom of Israel. So in Acts chapter 1 and what is it, verse 8 or 9? Verse 8, when Christ says, "But ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be both Salaki, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth." He's saying you will go to the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom and be witnesses unto Yahushua. So that's showing you, like, he's telling you to go back and preach his word to the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And of course, those are the Israelites that are scattered abroad from both kingdoms. Right? So it says, but let me finish reading. It says, it's another name for the northern kingdom of Israel, founded when the 10 northern tribes refused to acknowledge Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, as their king, which you can read about in 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 16 through 33. So that's just some of the stuff that you can look at in this book. Another book that I have is called Bible Charts, Maps, and Timelines. Now, if you look on the inside of this book, it gives you 3 timelines. It gives you one of Bible history, world history, and Middle Eastern history. So it's going to show you what was written about in the Bible happening, what time period it happened in. It's going to show you what's going on in world history. So what else is happening around the world and what's also going on in the Middle East at this particular time. All right. So let's just look at some of the things that you have in here. You have was talking about the prophets and who they actually prophesied to. You have the author, what they were talking about, where they were located when they were doing this, why they were doing it, and what the key verse is. Now, I'm gonna hip y'all to something. Some of the stuff in this book is written from a Christianity perspective. So you have to read this with spiritual eyes and be able to discern between what's written versus tradition. What's actually written in the Bible, because the Bible at the end of the day should always be the measuring stick. But you still can be able to get some real good knowledge out of here if you're able to discern what's being actually spoken about and what's actually being written. Now you have some of the manuscripts. There's one part in here that says 100 proofs of the Bible actually existing. Now, if you read on page 51, it is the 29th archaeological find, and it's on what's called the Tel Dan Stele. And it says, and it has the house of David inscribed in the same Hebrew that we've been writing and speaking it. So if you look right here, it might be a little hard for some of y'all to see, but it literally has Bayat Dawad inscribed here. The highlighted part says Bayat, that's the Ba Ya Ta Da Wa Da. We can actually read that and see what's actually being said. So for those that say the Hebrew we speak is a little iffy or it's not the real Hebrew, I can actually write this myself, and I actually understood what it was saying without having to like look anything up or any of that. So for those of the naysayers, hey, you can't argue with that. That's on a rock from that time period. I ain't gonna. And then you also had a prophet, and it's showing who exactly they prophesied to. You have all the prophets of the Old Testament. Yeah. You had the prophets of the Old Testament on page 107, showing exactly who they prophesied to. So you have Samuel prophesying to Israel, Elijah, Elisha prophesying to Israel, Jonah, it says to Nineveh, but if you read the book of Tobit, you know who Jonah was going to. Stop playing. Especially Tobit chapter 1 and verse 9. If you go to Amos, Isaiah says Amos was prophesying to Israel, Isaiah was prophesying to Israel, Hosea, Micah, Nahum, Jeremiah, Zephaniah. Ezekiel says to the exiles in Babylonia. Okay, who was exiled in Babylonia? Who were the captives? Who were the slaves in Babylon? Don't worry, I'll wait. Now it says Daniel in Babylon. Who was he talking to in Babylon? Habakkuk, Obadiah. It says Obadiah is concerning Edom. So for those that say whatever is written in the book of Obadiah is not having to do anything with Esau, that's exactly who that's talking about. Now I can't think of anybody else that exalts themselves as the eagle and dwells in the clefts of the rocks, other than a certain amount of what would we call them? Hold on, Slocky.
Come on, the brother. We lost the brother for a second, but there he is. Oh, there you go. But no, so that's something that we offer on Patreon. Like I said, that's called Knowledge is Power. It's a series. There's a new one every month, so you get one or two of those every month with a wide variety of collection of books. Yeah, are you there? You wanted to finish what you were saying, King?
Yeah, my camera got cut off, but I can't cut it back on. That's crazy.
Okay, Con, go ahead. We can hear you though. Go ahead.
All right, so I just feel like I just find that funny. Like, it's as I'm showing this, my camera get cut off and it won't let me cut it back on. But when you look at all the other prophets, Habakkuk, Zechariah, Haggai, and Malachi, and Joel, it says they're prophesying to Judah. Right? So where it says, whosoever shall call on the Lord shall be saved, what Paul is actually quoting it from is actually a direct quotation from Joel chapter 2. From verse, when you look at Acts chapter 16, Acts chapter 2 and verse 16 on down, it says, but this was that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. It's a direct quotation from Joel chapter 2 and verse 27 all the way down to 32. So in Acts chapter 2 and verse 21 through 22, it says, whosoever shall call on the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. In Joel chapter 2 and verse 32, it says, and it shall come to pass, whosoever shall call on the Lord shall be saved from Mount Zion, and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. It's saying the exact same thing. But Joel is prophesying and saying the same thing, and Paul is quoting from him. So it's showing you exactly who that was talking to in the Old Testament and the New Testament. But I had more to show. I can't even show everything because it won't let me cut my camera back on.
Con.
Esau know what we doing. He at work.
But no, because
Stop
your
that.
video, your video goes more depth on that book. So, like I said, tune into the Patreon. That'll be the newest video out of the Knowledge of Power series. That's going to be posted when he goes into even more depth than he did tonight into that book. So, the water for that, King. It's on you, Adam. We appreciate you for giving us that time, but it's on you, King.
All right. The water for that, brothers. Are there any questions? Does anybody in the chat have any questions pertaining to the lesson or any of the books or anything that we've spoken about tonight first, and then we'll deal with any of the other ones after that. It's not none of us intended to be on here long tonight anyway. But we are prepared to take any questions that anybody has.
Let's see. I look like silence. Salaki, don't forget, again, I'm going to reiterate again, SOT, we holding our Passover March 25th. It starts at 7:45, but please be there a little earlier. Do not come in when the event is starting last minute. Come a little earlier. If we starting at 7:45, be there at 7:30. Be there at 7:25, so we can get the event started on time. So don't come late. Let's not do that. Let's get together. Let's celebrate, be festive. Enjoy what's going on, but don't be there late. Also, you can tune in to Sons of Thunder Israelites multiple times a week. We got Milk Monday every Monday. We got Thursday Night Thunder. Friday at even we have our Shabbat class. Every Friday, brothers go live on Facebook. Saturday mornings, brothers go live on Facebook. And then you can see brothers in the streets later on about 3 o'clock at Ridge Park in Atlanta, Georgia. So, get the word while it's still out there before before the famine come and brothers ain't in them corners no more. They ain't hitting them corners. They ain't outside. So get the word while you can. Khan, I don't want to come out said bring your Bible and your apocrypha. Be prepared to take notes. Be able to be like I said earlier, be a scholar. Don't just come waiting to eat and fellowship and see your favorite people in Israel. Come ready to learn. The water I don't want for mentioning that, for reminding us about that.
Urban Vision said, "What is the English translation of the ancient Hebrew in that one book? Which book? You have to be." They talked about a couple. He talked about
the first book.
The work.
He said, "What's the English translation of the ancient Hebrew?" That's a
He could be talking about Salaki. He could be talking about an Iron's book, or he could be talking about what was on Tel Das Delay. And what I had where it was saying House of David.
I think it's that one.
Okay. What's the English translation?
Nah, he said the book, Salaki. He said the book that Yahweh brought out. He talking about
it was. It says House of David or Bayath Dawad. Bayath is Hebrew for house. Dawad is how you say David in the Hebrew.
Somebody said Shalom from Germany. Shalom to you. Thank you for tuning in.
Any other questions?
I don't know what it look like it.
All right. reminder about Passover, March 25th. You know what I'm saying? 7:30. Bring your Bible, bring your apocrypha, pen, paper. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to fellowship. If you have anybody bringing food, please make sure it's kosher. Wait for you to waste your time because we will not eat it. So, please make sure it's kosher and no, man, and make sure you have unleavened bread if you bring any type of bread or anything like that. Other than that, I think we're good. This has been another episode of Thursday Night Thunder.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel. Y'all about to Shabbat.
Y'all
Y'all be safe.
Shalom.
And this has been another episode of Thursday Night Thunder.
Shalom, Israel.